Welcome to the Shango Diaries, written by Madison, where love gets messy, the past never really stays in the past, and the heart wants what it wants, even when the mind says nah. It's real, it's raw, and it's got all the highs, lows, late night texts, and unanswered questions that come with falling hard for someone who might not be ready to catch you. So, press play, get comfortable, and step into Monica's world, where passion and chaos go hand in hand, and the truth, well, it's complicated. This is the Shango Diaries. Let's get into it. In episode 19, Monica is at a breaking point. The network is closing in, her job is on the line, and Shango's silence cuts deeper than ever. With legal threats, co-parenting tension, and emotional whiplash, she's forced to decide, fight, flee, or finally choose herself.
All right, welcome back, everyone. This week we're cracking open something pretty fascinating, actually. Excerpts from the Shango Diaries by Madison. It gives us this real fly-on-the-wall view of life, well, back in 2008.
Yeah, and it's not just like random journal entries. It feels incredibly personal. We get this intimate look at Monica. She's juggling a pretty intense production career, co-parenting, and this really complex relationship with a man named Shango. Plus, we see her talking with her friend Todd, her CEO. It feels like a whole slice of life.
Totally. So what we want to do today is really unpack these moments, see what they tell us about Monica's everyday reality, the relationships in her orbit that week and the professional pressure she was under. It seems like a lot.
Definitely. Where should we start? Maybe with Monica and Shango, because wow, their connection just leaps off the page, those emails.
Right. Let's do it. I mean, that first email, March 31st, I have a nice little ouch dot everywhere. Neck, back, breasts, thighs. That's quite an opening line.
It's pretty direct, isn't it? Tells you right away there's a strong physical thing going on and like a real comfort level there.
For sure. It's more than just, hi, how are you? And it wasn't just physical, remember. Later that day, she writes about hoping they're growing towards being the best of friends and lovers.
Yeah.
That's, wanting something deeper.
Yeah, a real partnership. And that line, I never have to worry about anything when I'm with you. Wow. That speaks volumes about feeling secure with him, right?
Definitely. But what gets me is how that raw emotion sits right alongside the really practical stuff. Like 1 minute it's intense, the next they're talking about his proofreading work or 10 rent, mortgage due dates.
Yeah, real life stuff. It kind of grounds the whole thing, doesn't it? It shows it's not just some fantasy romance.
Exactly. It's grounded. And Shango, he throws back some interesting energy too, like teasing her about using Ayesh and calling her Miss Straight Lit with all those exclamation points.
It's playful.
It is. It feels like they have their own inside jokes, their own way of talking. It suggests they're, pretty comfortable with each other.
And then you get Monica's blog posts.
Yeah.
Reading that, it's like you're right there in their Brooklyn place. The smell of his cooking, describing his voice as the voice of life, the really sensual details.
Yeah.
It's just incredibly vivid.
Oh, totally. That blog post really turns up the volume on their dynamic. When he whispers, I love you so much, don't stop loving me. And her reaction is just, hell no, baby, internally and out loud.
Yeah.
You really feel that moment. It's almost uncomfortably intimate,
Yeah, like you're listening in on something really private. And what about that little power dynamic mention? When he kisses her, says, you belong to me. And she's just like, oh, hell yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
What do you make of that?
Well, it's interesting, isn't it? It tells you something about maybe her desires or maybe just the specific energy they shared physically in that moment. Maybe not dominance, but like a shared intensity.
Yeah, perhaps. It makes you wonder, though, about the stuff not being said. That early line, constant thoughts of you, is that just deep infatuation, or could it hint at, like, a little imbalance? Maybe one person's slightly more consumed.
That's a really good question. It's one of those little lines that makes you pause, right? But then she does reflect later on how she went from feeling like a visitor in your home to being at home, living a life with you. That sounds like a pretty big shift towards feeling secure, feeling settled.
True. That's significant progress. And that late-night email she sends him, it's practically a love letter, praising his passion, lustful passion, calling him an amazing source of inspiration. It seems like she's just completely captivated.
Mm-hmm. And his favorite saying, she mentions, "I'd rather be with you than without you." It's simple, but it says a lot, doesn't it, about their core connection?
Yeah, he grounds it again. And Shango definitely matches that energy, right? His email on Friday, looking forward to Sunday night. That whole bit about attacking you
Yeah.
and telling her to have her heels ready.
Left slightly. Yeah, okay. Message received. Pretty clear what his focus was for her return. Very direct, very physical anticipation.
So yeah, intense stuff there. But let's shift gears a bit because Monica's week wasn't just about Shango. Her work life sounds absolutely insane.
Oh, completely. This Iron Ring show she's working on, facing a legal battle, attempts to seize the masters. That's like major drama in the production world.
Seriously, high stakes, right? The masters are everything. Someone trying to grab them, that points to a huge conflict, a real threat, probably to the show, maybe even to her job. Sounds like a pressure kicker.
No kidding.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, she's also involved with this new Playboy show, the email about coordinating a dinner. It just shows she's juggling completely different kinds of projects, different worlds almost.
Yeah, she seems really versatile. And then there's that quick email to her CEO, David, about the Iron Ring episode being hot. Her directness and his super brief reply about taking care of baby gives you a tiny glimpse into how they communicate, maybe.
Maybe even a hint of like personal life blurring into work on his end. But her blog post, that really lays out the grind, doesn't it? Negotiations with vendors, dealing with the many intricacies of celebs, managers, travel logistics, music licenses, and network execs from hell.
It sounds exhausting, just reading it. Makes you appreciate all the stuff happening behind the camera.
Totally. But what's really interesting is, amidst all that chaos, she mentions fixing up her resume because an interview went well, and wanting NYU on the first page.
Right. So she's maybe thinking about her next move, looking for something else, or maybe trying to leverage her current experience.
Seems like it, planting seeds for the future while navigating the present storm, you know?
Yeah.
And we also see her deep in planning that Playboy dinner and shoot, working late on final touches.
Yeah, she seems really driven, committed to getting things done right, even when she's obviously swamped.
But the really big potential game changer, professionally speaking, seems to be her own reality show idea, looking for Mr. Big, getting a meeting with Mr. Walker and Steve Stout.
Yeah, Steve Stout. That's a big deal. Longtime Jay-Z connection. That signals her project might actually be getting serious traction.
For sure. And her little yikes at the end of that email.
Yeah.
It just perfectly captures that feeling, right? That mix of sheer terror and excitement when a massive opportunity lands in your lap.
Totally get that. Okay, so besides Shango and work, what about our other connections? Her friend Todd seems really important. The notes called his input a much-needed reality check.
Yeah, that feels right. His messages seem so supportive, telling her, you wear many hats and you do it well. Sometimes you just need a friend to say that when you're drowning, you know?
Absolutely. Just that validation. And he gives pretty sharp advice, too, doesn't he? That bit about not giving away too much of her intellectual prize.
Mm-hmm. Like he sees her value and wants her to be smart about it professionally. That's a good friend to have.
For sure. And we also see her confide in Todd about something pretty serious, that co-parenting issue with her son Jordan at Beacon, that whole story about the police, the arrests. It's jarring.
It really is. And her advice to Jordan about knowing his rights, name-dropping his godmother's connection to Malcolm X, having numbers for Al Sharpton and Barack Obama. Wow, that shows a whole other side of her protective, aware, teaching her son how to navigate the world. It's powerful.
Yeah, definitely. And then there are just the quick mentions, right? Coordinating with Ryoji on the Playboy thing, just everyday work stuff. And that little note about a message from Coach stirring things up.
Right. Hints at a past relationship, maybe. Still lingering there. Everyone's got a coach somewhere in their past, haven't they?
Probably. So looking at the whole week, the big picture, what really stands out is just this incredible balancing act she's pulling off.
Totally. The intense relationship, the high-pressure career, co-parenting, all crammed into 1 week. It's just it's grown woman life, right? In all its messy glory.
And seeing it through those 2008 communication methods, the emails, the blog posts, BlackBerry messages, it's kind of nostalgic, actually. Feels recent, but also like a different era of tech.
It does. And it really throws the complexities of relationships into sharp focus, doesn't it? The passion with Shango, but also the practical stuff, the negotiating. It's never just one thing.
And Monica herself, she comes across as so resilient, determined, handling it all with, what was the phrase, equal parts grace and grit. You just get the sense she doesn't back down easily.
Yeah, definitely a force. And that friendship with Todd really highlights how crucial support systems are, doesn't it? Having someone in your corner when life gets crazy.
Hmm. So ultimately, these entries show us someone who's both incredibly strong but also, like, vulnerable, navigating this super full life, but also maybe on the edge of some big changes professionally, personally. It
Yeah.
makes you really curious about what happened next.
It really does. This look into the Shango Diaries gives us such a rich, detailed snapshot of a life in motion back in 2008. Her juggling act, that fiery connection with Shango, her career ambitions, it paints a really compelling picture.
Yeah, it absolutely leaves you wondering, what happened with that legal fight? Did looking for Mr. Big take off? And where did things end up with her and Shango? Lots of questions.
Well, maybe we'll get more clues down the line. For now, though, join us next week for another commercial-free short conversation. We'll be looking at online dating, vintage 2008, also through the writing of M. Madison. Should be interesting.
Woo! Episode 19 was a whole roller coaster. Monica's trying to keep her job, dodge lawsuits, raise a whole child, and not lose her damn mind over Shango ghosting her again. Like, sir, do you exist or not? Meanwhile, Todd is still that steady friend we all need, but even he can't save her from the mess that is her emotions. And don't get me started on the Iron Ring drama, because baby, the network is not playing. Monica's hanging on by a thread, but you already know her bounce back is no joke. Stay tuned because it's only getting messier.